from your GoPro from like while you jump out of a plane is probably not actually possible.
And you say that.
And that's how we're opening for the first one on YouTube, is halfway through you saying that.
Good.
So, for context, we're talking about extreme streaming, just live streaming.
Oh, shit.
I've lost the link. There we go.
So it's in general in Discord. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Misadventure cast. We're new on YouTube. We are not new in entirety.
The world.
We have been on Twitch since November, and it's awful. So we're here giving this one a go. Yeah, we're here giving this one a go. We're gonna see how it goes here. So we're gonna be starting fresh, I suppose. So I am John. The podcast used to be called The Misadventure of John and Friends, and these are my friends. I am a YouTuber here, obviously on this channel. There's other videos with Chiz. Chiz can't make podcasts because he works night shift, so that's why he's not in here. But yeah, that's kind of, I do the YouTube stuff. I play video games. I'm gonna do other stuff in the future. That's me. Who's next?
Bob.
You've been volunteered.
We'll go around. Yeah,
I have been.
It works on my screen.
yeah same.
Yeah, on my screen, you're above me. So when you point it up, it's like wrong direction.
You are
But
God.
for intros, so I haven't prepared anything.
But you have your
So, what I'm
bullet
go-
points.
I know. Which
That's
didn't fit
that's
in.
our show, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week.
So, yeah, I'm also a YouTuber. I actually started YouTubing, 6 months ago, 3 months ago? I don't know. Not that long ago. I've only released a handful of videos.
Right. It's 3 months.
Right.
And because if you've stuck to your schedule, you have 6 videos up, which you do every 2 weeks.
I've only got 4 or 5 up. Oh, 6 will be coming soon.
It's 2.5 months, everybody.
Spoilers.
That's how coordinated I am right now. I'm a bit tired.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I normally go by the alias Sorcerer Mjolnir. That's how I introduce myself in my videos, so I will probably ping out a link shamelessly to my playlist and see if I can get some views out of that.
Do that after your intro.
My intro's long gone.
Matt.
I'm going to volunteer Matt.
Alright, so yeah, I'm Kuro. I stream a lot on my channel, twitch.tv/KuroNinja. And
You don't want to watch his Twitch channel. He's terrible.
yeah, it's pretty chaotic. For example, like last stream, I was playing Siege with a Majoring tablet, which is pretty chaotic. Like literally, like using this thing instead of a mouse. And that's just the kind of content that I shove out on Twitch. So yeah, if you're interested in that, then pop by, I guess.
So,
And to Nelly.
how do you get
How do you get work?
Siege working with your tablet?
How do you get that to work? All right, so you get the pen, yeah,
Yeah.
and then you use the Turing tablet
If he just says
as a mouse.
use it. I'm gonna
So he's
kill
still
you.
using keys.
Use
He's
it
using a
for
drawing
it.
tablet as his mouse. Because there's
Yeah.
buttons. There's buttons on the pen, so that would be your left and right click.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking it would just be the stylus. I'm like, where the fuck is the
No.
click coming from? There's
No.
buttons on it, that's
She
fine.
has 2 pens. He's just not told you about one.
Left and
No,
right.
if you actually touch on the stylus, then it draws. It clicks,
okay,
left
cool.
clicks, yeah.
I think at uni during one of the Games Blast streams that they did for charity, they played Skyrim. I might be wrong about the game, but something like Skyrim with a dance mat and a Guitar Hero guitar.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
That was
sounds about
exactly. I was
right.
like, this is exactly what you want to watch for Games Blast.
Did you see the video of the guy? I think it was Sekiro. It might have been Bloodborne, who played it on potatoes.
And bananas, yeah.
Yeah, and bananas.
Ah,
Just stuck some electrodes into some potatoes and mapped them to
Mhm.
buttons. So when he tapped them,
that's
they did the
Ah.
stuff.
Response.
that's a good idea.
So
That's
whenever
quite
you
neat,
wanted to walk forward, you have to spam one of them.
It's just like this with the tatty.
Yeah, exactly. There was no toggle shift or anything. It was just like spam, spam.
And at the end, you have mashed potatoes. Everybody wins.
And mashed
There's
bananas.
your dinner. There's your dinner.
Mashed bananas, stick them on some
Banana
toast.
split.
You're good to
Oh
go.
goodness me.
Bananas on toast is fucking ace. Don't judge me for that. It's fucking tasty.
What mush banana?
Yeah, man.
Mush
get-
banana.
I know slice of
Put
banana.
bananas on toast, just mush banana. Mush banana, personally, I don't have
Well,
a problem with.
You slice it, and then you mush
Yeah.
it.
You don't mush it.
You mush it. You turn it into mush, and then you put it on, and then you eat it, and it's good. Try
That's
it.
fair. I haven't tried it.
Try
so
it.
I
I
guess,
just feel like
I guess I'll be
I
next.
think it's the
on my
toast
list.
thing that I'm objecting to.
Why?
What's wrong with toast?
Has anyone ever heard of banana spread? No, because it's not a thing.
No.
Right, but Nelly, you're using the toast as a crunchy base layer. Now you could
It's a banana.
substitute that with basically anything that's crispy. The toast is literally just there to
Well,
give
if
it
you
something
crisp-
to sit on,
All
so
right,
it doesn't
give
fall
me
apart.
a banana on a digestive. I'd take that.
Fine, then have a
Fine.
banana on a digestive.
Sounds
Oh,
like
goodness.
creative ways to
I
make people
prefer
eat
it on
fruit.
toast.
Oh,
Nelly,
mushy banana.
do your
Oh, wait.
intro.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
we're talking about food. That's pretty much my intro.
This is Nelly, and she likes food
I
and
like
horses.
food. I like a lot of food. Most foods, any foods.
Nelly likes food and animals. She doesn't do content.
Hey,
Well, it's true.
hey. No, you're right.
Get offended
Um,
by it.
Well, I have the problem.
Fuck.
My intro is hard to do because obviously Bob's intro without even sort of prep is YouTube, but obviously I only do this. Hello, I'm Nelly. I'm here. This is my.
It's pretty
Fair
valid.
enough.
It's pretty valid.
I've also moved into the void that Bob has resided in, except I moved into the
The white.
sort of off-white version of it. Everybody else has got stuff. I have this wall.
I do need
You
to actually
posters.
do something about getting my black background back.
I like your bookshelf.
Get like
Yeah,
one
that
of
sounds
those rails, like the rails
Yeah,
on
the
wheels.
curtain.
Yeah. And just,
And then just
put it
stick a
behind you.
big black. Yeah,
You
big
could just
black
get
shield.
like a coat hanger or something. You know, with like the railed coat hangers.
That's what
Like,
exactly,
standard.
Matt. That is exactly what I just said.
Yeah, but I don't know if you're talking about like.
Oh, he means like a literal like
Yeah.
you know, one of those
Like you would walk into a clothes shop and you would just have the rails and you would just
Yeah.
that.
like
yeah.
you walk into a coat shop and you just take,
Yeah.
right?
Just take it. Yeah.
Yeah, you just take it out.
You just leave with it.
Oh,
They're free. They haven't got
No, I have
What
not,
is-
Richard, because I have been a very, very busy man. Welcome, Richard. I'm glad you're here.
Okay, I'm gonna have to redo my intro.
thought-
Hi everyone, I am
Oh,
Sorcerer
yes.
Majolner.
Bonjour. Bonjour.
I will fix it eventually.
Lord.
Yorg.
If anybody wants to come
He's
and
had a busy
edit,
time.
if anybody wants to come and edit
I'm gonna do that last stream. That was 2 weeks ago.
about
2 weeks.
12 or 13 videos, be my guest. I'll go fix the overlay. But right now,
I mean, I feel like the easier way to go about this was to be like, if someone wanted to come fix the overlay, I'll continue editing the videos.
Nelly, editing videos is harder, and if I can pass off the harder thing to someone else and do the easy
Yes.
thing, that makes more sense.
But then it won't be done to your wonderful standards.
You've obviously not watched any of the videos.
Am I winning any points?
Because they are
An
not
elephant,
good.
everyone. An elephant.
They're not edited to a standard. They're edited to
Quickness.
Edit.
yes.
Edited to
Yes.
editedness.
Just
Certainly
a
there
bunch of-
has been.
But that
some
being
editing
said,
Bunch of frames.
that
shoved
being
together.
said, we did switch things up on Sunday. So now we were doing like 2 hours like blocks, and then I would edit up. But we've decided that to stop us looking at our phones so often and like for vaping on the mics and stuff, we've decided to I'm not editing to remove the swearing, David. No.
No.
Uh,
Yeah, it's a good point.
So now phones and vapes are outlawed, and we do 20-minute sessions, and then we have like 5 minutes between them. Where we're gonna have like a smoke, check our phones, whatever, and then we go into the
They
next
go
one.
back to their addictions.
Yes. So it's
That's a good way to regulate it. Yeah.
but actually, David, I believe the correct response to editing out the swearing is fuck no. So we did this on Twitch since November. We started out all right, but it's just kind of went. So
It's not necessarily gone anywhere. It's not necessarily gone
Yeah.
down, I would say.
but the
It's just
benefit of
overall.
doing it through YouTube, and it being in the channel that's already having stuff added, is that as the channel grows, the interest for the podcast will grow because they're just gonna feed each other. It kind
That's
of
the
gives
idea.
it more shelf life, which was becoming an issue. So yeah, it's we're. What the fuck are you? Mush banana.
I already read that.
I don't know. My brain broke.
A little song.
I just farted that out of my brain.
Something happened. Something happened.
So
It's a little
that.
nugget
Yeah.
of something.
A little look into the.
what we do when we're not talking
inner
random
mechanisms.
nonsense and bullshit is we talk about video games, we talk about news, we kind of talk about our lives and shit that's happening, and we just kind of have a bit of fun for a couple hours. So, Bob, you seem to be the only one that actually has any sort of thing prepared. Oh wait, no, Nelly, you've got something. Yeah, you do. I'm sorry. You did say you had something. Yeah, in fact, if I remember rightly, you said you had two things. Because
Oh, okay. Well, I kind of
'cause
was
there
moving
was-
toward the second one, but I can do both. I mean, the other one's just that cat thing.
yeah, but it's still. I looked at that and I was like, why do I want to play this? It was when I saw the
I
tagline
know why I
of
want to play it.
when I saw the tagline of it's Grand Theft Auto with cats, or cats that go around solving cases. I was like,
Yeah,
It's something like yeah, detectives.
and it's a
yeah.
puzzle game.
be worth it
I
for.
don't know a huge amount about it anymore. I'm just gonna
Not
open
much-
it
not much
because I got excited and
information
now I'm very
released.
warm. Someone mentioned cats.
Speaking
Go,
of,
Cole,
where's the
stay back.
schedule?
What's it?
Where's the scheduled appearance of Cole?
Not tonight.
But talking about cats, is anyone just completely unrelated, kind of? But the Cats musical. I
Oh,
love
the
all
film.
the memes that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love all the memes that are going around about the Lion King, like realistic cats, and then Cats the musical.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Furries.
I get.
They're really creepy.
I get that there's obviously there's obviously actors playing these people and they want to keep their faces there.
Yeah.
But it honestly looks like they've gone anthropomorphic cat person. I can't say that word. Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic.
There you go. Cat person.
English.
We'll chainsaw the face off it, and then we'll just stick on the actor's face. And we won't change anything about their nose or their cheeks or anything like that. We'll just
They're
stick
horrible.
their
It's
face.
just full on.
I haven't
Nightmare
watched.
inducing.
I haven't watched that trailer, but I've seen enough of the gifs to go. That's a horror show.
Same.
It's like the Sonic the Hedgehog kind of like creepiness. Like all the stuff that came out of that.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
It was
Have they
like
finished the redesign yet? I thought I heard something about that.
So they finished the
They-
redesign, but then there was also rumors that they're delaying it a bit longer as well. Because I imagine that since they fixed the redesign, he doesn't really fit with the rest of the film, so they might have to change some of that as well.
Sonic should do a guest appearance. Nice one, Ryan.
Gotta go fast.
Um,
I do actually have stuff to talk about because I remembered what it was. But anyway, Nelly, let's get your stuff then, since you have.
oh, okay, am I going first?
Yeah, you never go first because
Alright.
you're always like, but you actually have something.
No, I had stuff the last couple of times. I had questions that
That is true.
initiated debate.
Do you
Thank
have a
you.
question this week?
I have a topic to initiate debate. Okay, but I'm going to do the cat thing first, because cat
Okay,
thing's great.
okay.
In answer to Daco Valu, because I can't see her name, it was the Peace Island game, in case you were trying to work out which game it was, because someone he said, you're a Gunga cat.
I don't get
I
that.
don't know.
I think there's a typo in there.
Yeah. But you're like a team of cats, and you have to work out what happened to the humans in the world, because I haven't really done a lot of looking into it, because I planned to do that, but then I got a new topic, so I kind of changed. But yeah, so you're a team of cats who have to work out what happened to all the humans because they've all vanished from the world, and I just think that's amazing because I just want to play a game where I'm a cat.
What did you say the
And you're
name of
not
the
even,
game
like-
To be
was?
honest, I think the four
Peace
of us
Island.
should. I think the four of us should like do a session of that, just like see how it goes.
God, that'd be so chaotic.
And
I know, it's
I
gonna be
like
great.
puzzle games as well because like obviously the cat thing was why people started sending it to me, and I've got to admit that I got more than one person send that to me.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
Nelly,
Yes.
Nelly, cats.
it's
What are you
going
gonna
to
say?
have VR.
Well, I need to buy new equipment. This is literally why I'm going to buy it.
VR cats
The
become
VR
immersed.
cat gangs. Yeah, I've had multiple people send me stuff about this thing, but I haven't read a huge amount. It's all just been like screenshots, like, oh my god, have you seen this game?
Peace
And I have to
Island
find it each time.
is the brainchild of solo developer Eric Blumrick, set on remote marine island. The basic concept is a mix of science fiction, alternate reality, and mystery, with a storyline that involves 9 cats waking up to find their human companions have strangely disappeared. Pretty much working on the video game by himself with the odd helping hand, Blumrick launched a Kickstarter crowdfunding project. You can invest money, Nelly, last summer to help fund development and produce a beta demo. The campaign was Campaign was successful and managing to raise 13k from 345 backers. As you can probably imagine, working on an open world adventure by yourself isn't the easiest of tasks. While the beta is yet to appear, he's been vocal on Kickstarter, so the beta demo has been delayed because the dude's doing it on his own. So,
That makes me
Understandable.
like it even more.
Could he open source some of the work? That might be an idea, and then get people just to come and help him. Because I would jump in on that.
I don't think he wants
He
to.
wouldn't be able to. He wouldn't necessarily be.
Yeah,
able to
I mean, I
claim
guess it's a good
the entire
achievement to
thing.
be like, hey, I built this
Yeah.
whole game, as long as it's good.
Yeah.
It sucks
Well,
balls that it's not so much.
still, even if it sucks balls, it's still a hell of an achievement
Yeah.
building a game from scratch.
If you,
Like,
as long
that's
as it, okay, probably the better phrasing is as long as it actually functions.
No,
Yeah.
it's not
'Cause it
another
could be a bad
hateful
game, but if it
boyfriend,
functions,
Ryan.
it's still an achievement. But if it doesn't work, then it's kind of like, wasn't really much, was it? You built a broken.
It's
thing.
not a weird
Yeah.
Japanese visual novel where you try to fuck pigeons. It's a game where you run around in an open world as cats.
Yeah, I think, and it's like a puzzle. From what I've seen of it, which I will admit is minimal, I think it's like a puzzle thing, which is very me. I like puzzles. And you have cats. So
David, you say you still have nightmares of that, but me and Bob have both known you for a long time. You didn't have... You loved that. Don't pretend.
you didn't have nightmares; you had daydreams.
He did indeed. If there's no opportunity to fuck pigeons, I'm out. Well, dude.
Well,
Just
we're
you, I
not
guess.
saying that there isn't an opportunity.
Suggest
But-
it to him,
Eh.
fund him, and maybe you'll get
Yeah.
that.
Ever since Steam opened up to adult-only video games, I'm pretty sure you'd find something on there where you could fuck a pigeon. Because that's all I see on my page now, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, there's some
Really?
thirsty-ass motherfuckers out there. It's just like you scroll down, and it's just like big-ass anime titties. And you're like, Jesus, I'm not even looking at this shit. What the fuck? Steam's so fucked. Well, it shows you. I just get shown like
right now, it's pretty chaotic. Yeah.
I just get shown
Yeah.
like shitty 70p indie games.
I uninstalled Steam from my work laptop just to make sure that I didn't get like caught out by accident. Like I'm like, oh, I'll just look at the store. Oh God, no, close.
A strat.
And I'm for a meeting.
See, I don't have the money to just go and look at the Steam store page.
That's
Looking is
also-
free.
That is a mood.
When you look, it doesn't cost you
I
anything.
know, but it does. It costs
Yeah,
me
that's
in desires. I had to wait for payday to buy one thing recently. Well, I've just today, and I can't have that every month because I keep running out of money because I will get a very large backlog of things.
So what was your other thing?
Okay, so my dad turned this into a question. So I was talking about it. My dad turned it into a question. So it was about and I know it was in the newspaper, but I then couldn't find this article again. So there's been a couple of people. I mean, the one that I found, I don't know if it is the same guy, and it's just weirdly written, but the article I found was about the 16-year-old who won the Fortnite competition and won £3 million. The one me and my dad were talking about was the 15-year-old, so like an actual kid. I mean, not really, because when you're 15, you don't think you are. But a 15-year-old who came second and won $1 million. And the way it became like a debate or a question between me and my dad was, is it really something that gaming industry should really be encouraging? Because this kid was playing 8 hours of video games a day, and his mum was very much like, I really don't want you to be doing this. And I think unfortunately, this has come through my dad for this specific article, but like the mum was like, she like broke his head or tried to break his headset and stuff to try and just stop him because he was playing too much. And then what he got out of it was he came second in this competition in doubles and got to turn around to his mum and be like, see, I told you so. But it's whether or not it's really a positive thing, because I kind of turned around to my dad, and this is where like the kind of conversation came into it. I was like, well, that's kind of what you do with football. And then my dad turned around and went, yeah, but football's a bit more healthy than 8 hours a day of, staring at a computer screen.
Playing fucking Fortnite.
Because I, growing up, shared a computer with my dad and my brothers. So I was very limited, and all of us, well, my dad, not so much because my dad's an adult and he could tell us to bugger off. But we were quite limited in the amount of time that we were allowed to spend on screens. And I personally am quite thankful for that, because it meant that I did other things. I would have probably quite happily have just sat and just played stuff for hours and hours, but I ended up doing other things because mum and dad were like, you've got 45 minutes, and then it's your brother's go, and then it's your other brother's go, and then it's dad's go, and you guys gotta go to bed and drink water and eat fruit. So it was a discussion about whether or not the gaming industry should be allowing or like encouraging people who are under a certain age, because obviously it's a career, and it is a career. If you're going to win £1 million for coming second, certainly a viable career.
Yeah,
I would quite like that.
I mean,
suck at Fortnite, so it's not going to happen. But
my first question is, surely there was something in the in that competition that should have said for over 18s only.
that's the thing, but it wasn't.
Because especially with that level
it was a 15-year-old.
of prize fund. Yeah, because I saw it was a UK lad that won it.
Yeah.
Especially with that level of
so much money.
yeah, with that money on the line,
Yeah.
because he's 15. You know, like, you're not. We all say this as we're growing up, that we feel like we're adults. Stop treating us like children. But then we get to like.
It's an actual
To actual adulthood.
Like. I'll add Matt into this because he's here and I'll be nice. But from like
now 18.
Yeah.
He's an adult.
Because 18 and up, and I felt it more about 25, maybe a bit younger than that, where I was like, yeah, I was a fucking kid. Like, I was a fucking asshole kid until I was like 17, 18, and then I started to go, I can't keep doing this anymore, and then I started growing up. So you're giving a 15-year-old, which he won't actually have access to that money. It would have to go to a parent.
It goes to the parents, yeah.
yeah.
So now the parents got access to that money. So then, why even have them at that age compete?
And it seems like it's something that would cause disagreement. Because if the parents weren't as encouraging... Because the one that I found, the one who came first, who was 16, his parents were like, as long as your grades are good, go ahead. Which is fair. That makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
it's not affecting any other part of his life.
You've got to have another option, which is obviously academic.
Fall back on, yeah.
But if you can, then go ahead. So this guy won $3 million. So it's going to cause a lot of discord. Is this 15-year-old was having arguments with his parents about how much time he was allowed to play, and they were trying to stop him by doing things like, breaking headsets just to make him listen to them. Presumably, the fact that they've now got control of his money, technically, presumably they're not going to use it for what he wants, which would presumably be upgrades and stuff like that for his equipment. Which I also assume, and this is something else that made me think, was I bought my first computer in my first year of uni, because that's when I had the money to do so. Before that, it was always my parents' computer, so it wasn't mine, and it was controlled by them. Did this 15-year-old who's arguing with his parents and having his stuff broken, how much did he contribute to like buying all of that stuff?
Assumedly nothing.
Nothing, because he can't work. Like, apart from maybe pocket money, if you want to count that as...
paper runs or stuff like that lets you earn a $5 a week kind of thing, yeah. I think, like, to say it's a good thing is quite difficult, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily it's
So-
worked out well for him.
Mm.
But if everybody tries to follow
Yeah.
his trend, that's a bad thing, because then you're going to get thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of teenagers.
Going, I don't have to go
Arguing
to
with
school. I can
parents.
play video
Yeah.
games.
Because
Yeah,
that's the problem. He's now managed to turn to his parents and been like, "See, I told you it was worth it." So how many other kids are going to be like, "See,
Yeah,
let
and the
me
thing
play
is,
8 hours of video games every day."
in these competitions, only a few people
Yeah.
come at the top.
Very handful, yeah.
Yeah,
in the entire
only-
world. Like,
Yeah.
like you haven't. It's like
So-
the lottery. You haven't got a good percentage, and
Yeah,
it's skill
it's-
based, so it's even worse than the lottery. It's not even just luck. Like, you got to be good at
Yeah.
this. Like,
It's what. In fact, is it Bo Burnham? I saw him in an interview, and like he was asked by like the presenter of the show, going, "It's like, if you got any advice for those aspiring people out there?" And he's like,
Don't do it.
"Well, I'm not going to go tell you follow your dreams or any of that shit,
yeah.
because the truth is, I got to where I am partly because I'm good at what I do, but also because I got lucky.
Hmm.
And if you don't have that luck on your side, it doesn't matter how good you are. You could be the best. But there's
Still be
always
on the
that
side.
element of chance, circumstance,
And
that
some
could
of
just
it's-
throw it off.
And some of it's got to be like genetics. Like I know it's like to a limited extent, but like
Yeah,
certain people
traits
genetically
that help.
aren't going to be able to be professional
Yeah.
football players because they haven't got like physical
Like,
attributes.
coordination.
Basketball, not everyone can be a basketball player. I'm 5 foot. If I tried to go on a basketball pitch, I'd get lost. Like, I wouldn't know where anything was. And some of that's like reaction times. Obviously, you can train.
You definitely
like,
get lost
some
considering
people
you
are
called it
better.
a pitch and not a court.
I don't do basketball. It's not a very popular UK sport.
I did okay at
It's
basketball.
going, it's
surprisingly.
netball.
going, to be fair. Netball.
I wasn't good at netball. They made me the shooter because I was very accurate. And then we went and played one match, and someone stood in front of me like this for the whole thing, and everyone got mad because I didn't score a single goal. And I went, that wasn't
I
my
did
fault.
okay. Believe it or not, I did okay at basketball. I didn't mind it.
I think I knew this. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I think I did.
Rugby was my thing, because I
Hey, you
was
suit it.
I was
suit
like
it.
five
You suit it.
5'3" in school, so I was short and
God, you were
I
so
was
tall.
bulky. So
And you could run at people.
Wham! Right through.
yeah.
and I was
A
angry.
little rocket.
I was
A little
also
rocket.
Angry little.
I was
angry little
also
fucker.
very very angry. So when it was like get him, I
You're
was
in
like
the way of me.
okay. But I never got to play it for very long because it was like touch rugby, so it wasn't full contact, and I wanted to go full contact, and I did, and then I got told you're not allowed to do it anymore. I was like, well, to be fair, that guy's been saying bad things about me for years, so I went through the middle of them, and I had fun doing it.
That's what sport's about, right? Having
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, violence.
Friends.
Injuring your friends,
Yeah.
laughing
beating
about it
people
rather
up.
than saying sorry.
Especially-
I wouldn't have called him a
Especially with
friend.
Friends.
Nah,
People.
No.
Associates.
Acquaintance.
no,
Mortal enemies.
that's probably closer, Nelly.
People you'd like to take to the killing fields.
So,
Ah, the good old days.
The good old.
how much of that do we put on the parents? Because there would have been, they would have had to legally agreed and signed off on him being able to compete in this tournament.
Good
So
point.
But
he's underage. He's a
curious.
minor. So they would have
That's
had
only-
to
that's
sign
only
off on
once
it.
you- That's only when you get to a certain point when you like basically confirmed at that point. So that means you basically confirmed prize money, and then the parents sign off.
I mean, I think they
Working
said like
towards
they
it,
were
though,
like,
yeah.
okay, you can go to the competition. But if you've got a kid who obviously I don't actually know how much of this is true. This is from a news article that my dad read that he then relayed to me. But if you've got a kid who to try and stop playing video games, you've got to break their stuff. You've kind of got a kid that's a bit of a dick. Like, who knows? Like,
Yeah.
there's a limit. Like, if my parents went, you can get off the goddamn computer, I'm probably off the goddamn computer before I
It
get a
depends. It depends if you can prove that you're good enough, and at that point, in
Yeah.
that case, obviously he could because he won.
taking part in the
He came
competition. I
second.
think.
Taking
you
part
can't-
of it in itself is quite something because
Yeah, I think the parents, like, at that point, you know, your kid's achieved a lot. You've got to be like, okay, like, you've done good at this. Fair
You
enough.
may as well have
I
a
think,
try.
yeah,
Yeah.
if I ever had a child, which, God, I hope I don't, then I'd be like, yeah, go for it, because you got to that point. Like, I'd be pretty proud of them at that point. I'd probably still be a bit like, yeah, you probably should do it.
Yeah,
Say
you
a
still
bit more,
want
but
to be wary.
like,
Yeah.
like, I'm still angry about how you got here, but I've got to admit, it's like, because to be fair, if your kid went to like rugby, massive rugby competitions, they were winning millions of pounds, you'd be like, okay, because
Yeah,
it
you'd
is a
be
skill,
proud of
and it is something. If he's gonna win,
So
and he wants to do
then
it.
If he's going to be good at it, then he's
Yeah.
he may as
Let
well
I
let
mean,
it
it's
thrive.
something for him to do.
change that question because it will change the tone.
The
Answers.
answers.
Mm.
How much of it is put on Epic? Because
Ooh.
this game.
Yeah.
So me and Bob have talked about this before. We bought it as Save the World. It was supposed to be this cartoony wave defense game where you did different objectives in each level and you went on and then you upgraded and blah 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 blah. That was what the game was initially sold as, and then it did the battle royale thing as as a test, as a beta, and then children got on it and started spending mummy and daddy's money.
And then it blew up because of that.
So
Mhm.
that to me is quite they're kind of exploiting people there, exploiting children, which is why this is another part of why I dislike Fortnite now. As a quick side note, I was looking for Save the World on Epic's Game Store and it does not exist.
Does it not? Oh no.
Oh wow.
You can only download the Battle Royale.
I'm googling that shit.
Hey Epic, can I get a fucking refund, please? Because I still.
Because I was thinking it would be nice to go back and finish that off.
So this is the thing, though, Bob. The install files for Save the World were still on my hard drive, so they should have showed up on Epic's launcher, and they didn't. Anyway, back to the main point. So, Epic have realized, holy shit, this is making us a ton of money, and they don't even get to say that they didn't know it was children, especially now, because they just had 16-year-olds and 15-year-olds won a fuck ton of money. So at that point, they knew that kids were playing this game. They knew that kids were spending money. Everything that it has done since then, with the exception of the John Wick stuff, has been aimed at getting children involved. The dancing and all that shit. You go onto YouTube and you look at all the fucking videos of the kids and stuff doing all the dancing, and I want to shoot every single one of them.
Tone it down.
So it's... I probably shouldn't have said that on YouTube, but fuck it. It's already said now.
It's already said.
Yeah, so like they had to know, is it on them that they should have gone, you know, like I said earlier on, should they have just said, you can't do this unless you're 18 years or older?
Probably,
For
yeah.
competitions, I would say yes, especially when
Yeah.
it includes
Oh, no, the
cash
game,
prizes
whatever.
like that. But for the game, I think, to be fair, they still have the argument they don't know who's buying the stuff, and technically the kids shouldn't be able to buy stuff. They're using their parents' money. So within the game itself, the purchases, I mean, you can't let the kids play. I mean, it's the parents' responsibility to make sure they're not, you know, stealing your goddamn credit card and buying stuff with it. And if the kids spend their own money on it,
See, now
I
that's
went and
that's
bought,
fine.
like, the most random stuff when I was a kid that I never needed with pocket money. But I don't think it's Epic's responsibility to manage who's playing their games and who's buying what. But I think they shouldn't be allowing younger people to win massive cash prizes. But I also don't particularly have anything against it. As
Yeah.
long as it's like, I mean, it's fine.
I do.
think
I do.
yeah, I realise that. But I don't think it's actually that bad for someone young to win a cash prize because they're not getting the money. I think if they were getting their hands on that money,
It obviously depends on the
that's-
parents, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah,
It
like
sets-
if you are just giving a kid £1 million, like you're asking for them to sort of cause problems. But if it's given, the parents have control of it, so that kid's gonna get a house.
Subscribe.
I'd
You
love
you just subscribe to the channel. You just see videos. It doesn't cost you any money, Liz. You're fine. It's not like Twitch. It's not like Twitch. You're okay.
Welcome to YouTube.
It sets a very, very dangerous precedent. And we said this a little bit ago, but it sets a very, very dangerous precedent because now these other kids are going to be like, yeah, but mum, I don't have to go to school. I can play Fortnite and win money. And that's
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 the problem.
dangerous.
That's where the parenting comes in, though.
I
So-
didn't go to school because I was getting the shit kicked out of me, not because I wanted to sit home and stay and play video games, but because now this has happened. Other people are just going to be able to do it. The other kids are going to be like, Mum, why can't I do this? And yes, you're right. That's where the parenting comes in. But in the vast majority of cases, the parents don't give a shit. Or they will try a little bit, and then that'll be it. Because they'll just be like, oh, my kid's so out of control. Take everything
But
away
that's-
from them.
that's still on the
Take
parents.
everything away
That's still,
from them.
that's still on the parents because they are.
Yeah, obviously. Right?
Yeah,
But this is
exactly.
what I'm saying. They need to learn to discipline their kids better. And this is the problem, is they're not. They're just going, oh, well, like, I think
That's only
the
case
one
that you see on the internet, though.
the
But
one that
with
frustrates me the most is it's like, my kid's got this problem, so it's not... No. If your kid is spending 12 hours in front of a fucking screen at 13 years old, take his shit away from him. And tell him to go to fucking school or do something else that isn't sitting in front of a screen for 12 hours. Now, I got away with a lot of playing games for a long time when I was young because it was the thing that in our family, my mum and dad, my mum used to play games with me. I'd play car racing games with my dad on the PlayStation 1. I'd play games with Bob when we were 16, when we'd have like sessions and stuff. And we've done that almost every weekend since. But it's, I didn't get away with doing like anything like that until I could not mentally handle school anymore. And not because of the games, because of everything that was happening at school. Had I been able to, that would have been cut entirely so that I could have got through my exams and done something and gone to college. And my life would have been vastly different to what it is now.
Okay, so Fortnite. To play Save the World, you got to open up the Fortnite launcher, which encompasses Save the World, Battle Royale, and Creative. So it should be through Fortnite itself. You get me? It's all a label.
So my install files, they were just like, nah, fuck it. We've changed how it works, so we're just gonna ignore the fact that they're there.
Basically,
Bastards.
you gotta install base Fortnite, and I guess that includes everything. Besides, obviously, DLC. You Save the World is basically a DLC to it. No.
But it's not a DLC. It's the
Exactly,
fucking base
exactly.
game.
Obviously, right? Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I'm saying this is what it is now.
That just tells you everything you need to know about that. It was the thing that it was supposed to be.
Epic.
And then they just go, yeah, but now it's the side thing, and we don't care
I mean,
anymore. We'll just.
Reading things as well. I've read places that have said Epic Game Store spies on your Steam files and goes snips around it, and it's like some of it's spyware.
It was
like
a rogue bit of code that shouldn't have been doing that. Is the official story. Because you can import your Steam friends, but it was.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It was seeing that information without your permission for a little bit, but they dealt with it. The biggest part, the reason why people don't like Epic, and this is the reason, is it's because Tencent are involved. They're a Chinese company, and they're worried about their information. That's all it comes down to. Yes, it is missing things on its store page, but don't try and use that as an excuse for you being worried that the Chinese might get your information. Because
They have other
trust
means.
me, they could get it any other way they wanted to if they wanted
the
it.
other way.
So doesn't matter.
Most likely that would be in their terms of use, which no one reads anyway. Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Just saying.
No, so it is.
visible
What the Steam thing was is it was a rogue bit of code that shouldn't have been existed. It should have not run the way it was. So it was looking at your Steam friends list without your permission, and that's why people were getting so up in arms. It's like I didn't say it could do that, and it's like, well, they're fixing it. So
It doesn't really matter.
They're fixing it, so shut the fuck up. Like,
Fair.
you know. So this
It's
that
still-
that
I still
sentence
do
there.
Question.
Carry on. bud.
Sorry.
No, carry on. Because I was about to think
I
about something
still
else.
do question their QA process that code like that was allowed out into the wild.
Oh, it's obviously a
Hmm.
bullshit reason. It was there. It was a rogue bit of code, you know.
Yeah.
But the fact that they acted on it.
Yeah.
But then if it
To be
the,
fair.
the thing is,
Only
they're
after
still
they got
damning
found out,
themselves
though.
a little bit.
Yeah.
They're still damning themselves a little bit by going, "Oh, it was rogue code." It's like,
Yeah.
well, surely you have
Check
a
your
review
stuff.
process
Yeah.
before you release stuff to production. Any software company has to have at least some QA function to go, yeah, this stuff is actually okay to put out there.
That's what my brother does.
So,
Yeah.
just something I said there actually reminded me of a conversation me and Bob had the other night. We were having a little sort of like team YouTube meeting, and we were talking about, and we just started chatting shit, and it became to the point of, we were talking about when something goes wrong with the game or the launch isn't great, with like Anthem and stuff like that being the examples, and people getting angry about it. Let's butthurt about it, and then developers not communicating. So we started talking about it from the
Yep.
perspective of devs want to be able to talk to people, but the problem is people. The people will go, "Why are you doing it like that? That doesn't look like it's going to be very good." And then devs stop talking to people who are going to be playing their games because they're like, everything you're doing is wrong. And it's like, you're not a fucking game dev. Shut your mouth. So we were talking about the responsibility of devs and their and fans of the games. And you know, Bob, can you remember what the specifics of it were?
We initially were actually talking about Niantic and Pokemon Go, the recent Team Rocket stuff.
That's what it was.
Because a lot of people were raging at Niantic and the Pokemon Go app team about the fact that they released the Team Rocket feature and then they took it away like less than 24 hours later, and the only communication they sent out was like an in-game character thing of, oh, the more we investigate these Team Rocket appearances, they've now suddenly stopped. How mysterious. And I'll be honest, that annoyed me a bit because I was like, oh, come on. Like, if there's an issue
Yeah,
that you need
that's
to
what it was.
re-release,
Yeah, I remember now.
then just communicate with your fan base. I know there is no legal obligation. There's no major
that's-
obligations to your fan base.
That's where we
But
came
it's a
into
courtesy.
it. Was
Yeah.
the legal obligation? Do they have an obligation to speak to people and say, this is a thing that's happening, it's gone wrong, blah blah blah? And we were talking about people who are the worst for it, so like EA and BioWare with Anthem, and then Niantic, because they've been notoriously bad with communicating problems when it comes to Pokemon Go, especially in its launch days. So we were talking, and then it was just kind of like playing devil's advocate with Bob, because obviously he said he got frustrated with them doing it and not talking about it. So then I was like, but you don't have any entitlement to that information anyway, unless they want to give it to you. And nothing like that between us
That's
is
fair.
ever said in like, you know,
Bad, nasty.
yeah, I'm not trying, you know, we're never trying to be dicks to each other. It's just we do that. We just kind of play the devil's advocate there. So do you guys feel like, because you've bought that product, or in case of Pokemon Go, you've maybe bought some microtransactions, so you've invested money or something like that, do you feel like you're entitled to know those things? Like if there's problems, what they're doing to fix them, or what's coming next, or do you
Legally, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
can't say legally because I don't know.
In terms
law.
of marketing, I'd say, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's just stupid to not tell people.
But I have a counter for that.
Okay, of course you do.
This is what happens when you're the host. I have a
I
counter
already
for
know
it.
what you're going to talk about.
No Man's Sky.
Mm.
The devs of
They
that
shut the fuck up.
didn't
and
speak to
released
the
big.
press for 2 full years, and waited, I think it was 6 months before they said anything to the community, because they shut their mouths, they put their heads down, they stopped making false promises that they were never going to be able to keep, and they fixed their game. Had they continued to talk to the community and the press, that might not have happened.
Mm.
No, because you don't have to be specific. You can just be like, "Hey, we gotta fuck this up."
I mean,
It's the situation.
admitting your
Like-
fault is
like-
fine, but like but what I'm talking about is like, in the terms of that Pokemon Go Team Rocket thing, was
Yeah.
that it went up and then it wasn't there, and they didn't say anything about why it wasn't there. They didn't say whether it was a teaser or anything like that. It just was there and then it wasn't. They don't have to explain that. They tested something to see if it would go live. It did go live. People got a little bit of a look at it for a while, and then it went away and then came back.
Yeah.
So they didn't say anything because they were just testing something, put their heads down, dealt with it, released it.
The thing is,
That's the bit that I don't, because I just go, right, okay. Now, and don't get me wrong, there has been things that have frustrated me. Arkham Knight on PC, for instance, when they stopped the DLC coming out for 6 months because the people they gave the port to fucked it up. But I was still able to run the game, so I could still play it, and I didn't care, ultimately. If something goes wrong, as long as they go, we're fixing it, then I'm good. I don't need the updates. We're fixing it. Right, cool. We'll play it again. It's what really, really bugs me about it is the people who are so entitled, who believe that they deserve this information, that they deserve to know everything that goes on because they spent 40 quid on it. There's only about probably a couple of hundred people, maybe, depending on how big the studio is, that really needs to know that information. You don't need to know shit other than the fact that it's getting fixed, you know?
Yeah.
But that
See,
takes
I
the
don't-
background to the point that it should have been released in the first place. If people have already spent money on it, I think if you spent money on it, you kind of do. Because that's an investment. And if you didn't get what you invested in, it's like if you invested in a company, like a company in itself that's producing a product for, I don't know, other people. And you're like, I'm going to invest in this because I think it's going to make money. And then no one tells you what's going to happen with it. That's not fair. And that's actually, I think, illegal. Because you're not supposed to withhold that information. If someone's invested in what you've basically like been like, this is what you said it's going to be. And this is what I paid money for. And then you don't produce that. And then you don't tell people how it's going and when they're going to get what they paid for. That's not fair.
So, again, I have a counter for that.
I don't know why I'm
Purchasing
sighing. I'm perfectly okay with this. I'm not actually annoyed.
purchasing a game is different from investing, because investing to me is now
Yes.
things like Kickstarter and GoFundMe. If you fuck
Yeah.
that up and you've put in a couple $100 or more, by all means, fire away. But if you've bought a full release game for 60 quid and you're just going fucking nuts on a Reddit forum, why? What purpose
But
does
it's
it get?
false. But if it's not what you thought you were buying, well, I mean, depending on personal opinion, if you've looked at things, this is why cinematic trailers piss me the heck off, because you're watching all these beautiful things and then you load up a game and it doesn't look anything like that. Obviously, there are normally gameplay trailers as well that you can look at. But if you're buying something based on what you believe it is,
That's
and
on
then it
you.
turns out not.
No, that's
No,
that's on you
that's
for
on-
not doing your
that's on the-
research.
No, because if you haven't got basically the information that you were hoping that you were supposed to have,
Yeah.
I mean, there's
If they have done, like, there's a few games where they showed things in trailers that were just never going to be in the game. Like Siege had that. Its trailer had some cool stuff. So that's a little bit of false advertising, because then they didn't put it to the final release. But
because false
it didn't
advertising
end.
is like,
yeah, false
Right.
advertising, you can be prosecuted criminally
Yeah.
for that. But it's whether or not you're actually scamming people is the
opposed
problem.
to-
And you're
yeah.
you're not being scammed in these situations. You're just not getting quite what you expect.
So what about in a situation? Let's change it to film temporarily. What about in a situation where it's like Avengers Endgame, where the trailers were deliberately rigged to make you think it was one thing, and it wasn't. It was something completely different. Now,
I don't know about that.
so the endgame trailers that came out, there was 3 of them, and each endgame trailer was set in a specific way. One of them made it look like the red and white suits that they had on were spacesuits. They weren't. One of them was filmed in black and white with red accents, so everybody went, "Oh, they must be using one of those gems. That gem that's red. I can't remember which one it is." To do a thing, they didn't. They filmed very different versions of everybody saying whatever it takes because they didn't want people to know what was going to happen. So they framed it in such a way where they essentially lied to people deliberately to build some hype for the film.
That's in a different sense where it's you got to interpret it in that way,
But
as
with
opposed to stating words,
cinematic
saying,
trailers
"Oh, yeah,
and stuff like that, again, it's smoke and mirrors. It's always smoke and mirrors until a game releases. It's the same concept. They're throwing things up to go, "Oh, look at the shiny pretty lights," so you'll buy the game.
But with cinematic ones, you also have gameplay ones.
You do also have gameplay ones, but they're
yeah,
always,
so
if they are from the company who makes the game, they are always cut and set in a specific way
Watch Dogs trailer. Yeah.
True.
to only show you what they want you to see. Now, in terms of Ubisoft, they're notorious for their downgrades, but at the same time, that was obviously something they wanted to do, and it's a shame they still haven't done the stuff like coming down from the helicopters and the hostage being more reactive and stuff. But it was a bit ambitious for them at the time, and I don't give Ubisoft a big pass
Ultimately,
for
it didn't spoil Siege not
Yeah.
having those features. It was kind of like, oh, that's a bit shit, but oh well. And the thing is, right, those sequences, if you did play them in game, would take up, 15, 20 seconds of an actual match, which is a few minutes long at best.
I just feel that as a civilization, we are getting more and more entitled as time goes on. And I feel like people need to stop fucking complaining so much about them not getting this thing. And I realize I'm complaining. I know the irony of it, believe me. But it's like, oh, you didn't give me what I specifically wanted, so now I get to moan about you in many different places.
See, that I agree with.
Yeah.
I think the route that I was talking down, and it's kind of peeing me off because I can't think of any good examples. So I might be completely wrong here. Is like, someone not getting exactly what they wanted from a game. That happens. Like, I've bought games and I've been like, oh, this isn't what I wanted. That was a waste of money and 2 hours of my life to discover this.
Yeah, but
isn't
if it's
what I
not
wanted.
Overwatch, it's not what you wanted.
Shut up. I'm playing Black Desert Online. I'm playing Life is Strange 2. Because I played the first one already. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. I think, like, it's the idea that what you bought has been advertised as something that you can't really get the experience you were, like, expecting from. If that makes sense. But I don't really know how to explain it. I can't think of
Because that's the thing.
how my brain's trying to come up with this.
Does that still doesn't mean that they have the yeah, I'm kind of doing the same thing now because there's a word I'm looking for. They don't have. It doesn't mean that they have the entitlement to go out there in their thousands and start just tearing people apart and to the extremes of threats and things like that.
Yeah,
No,
well, that's
way
obviously
too far.
Yeah, that's obviously wrong. What I mean is like.
But that's what happens. We're mobbing up when it comes to these things.
But I think people have an entitlement to be upset.
Yeah,
entitlement culture.
If they
just
weren't
a bit,
provided with the product they were sold in advertising and things like that, you're allowed to be upset about that. It's like buying a TV that was advertised as being fantastic, but then it's actually really pixely and kind of.
I think it just comes down to the way I am.
You have your entitlement to go on Amazon and be like, don't buy this. This is completely not what they say it is. Like,
I think it's just because
And-
of the way I am. Because well,
yeah.
we've bought some shit. Is when we were like joint
Yeah.
buying games. We've bought some shit, man. But we just played it, and if we didn't like it, then one of
Yeah.
us would trade it in, or refund it or
That's-
something.
Yeah.
I'm people have this idea of me being like incredibly uptight and stuff. Nah, I'm pretty chill when it comes to shit like this. I'm not gonna go join in the people who were complaining about Battlefront 2. Yeah, it was a sack of shit, but don't buy the game.
Yeah.
Or if you have bought the
Yeah.
game, refund it. Like, it's the most downvoted comment in Reddit history.
I think like part of the problem is people are encouraged to complain by things like your sort of like what are the laws that basically govern.
Dark Raven, I've never had a problem with returns process on Steam. If it's
No,
under 2 hours,
Yeah,
you've
right.
already learned that you don't like it, and as long as it was within 14 days of purchase, you get a
Mhm.
refund about 2 or 3 days later. I've never had a problem with it. In fact, I've been able to return things that I've played for 6 hours and just gone, I wanted to try it for a bit longer. And they went, okay, there's your money back. As long as you have a valid thing,
yeah,
I've just never had a problem with Steam's refunds. Never.
See, I see this is the thing. I'm going down the route of like people should be entitled to complain, but I have never once refunded anything. I'm just like, I didn't like that. Oh well.
Oh, well.
I have a ton of
That's life,
stuff
I've
in
got
my
this
Steam
now.
libraries,
I
in
do
my
it with Amazon.
my PS4 library. I have a ton of stuff in there. I'm like, that's
I
£14
do it,
I'll
like-
never get back.
I just do because I'm just too lazy, to be honest. I'm just too goddamn lazy. I will buy things off Amazon. I will open the box and I'm like, no, this isn't what I wanted. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess I have this now. Like, and I will keep it. And I will wait till I have enough money to buy the thing that I actually wanted. Or I just won't bother buying it again. I'm just like, oh, well.
You're
Like,
different mindsets, though.
I'm kind of the person I will only like put in a complaint about something if I feel there's some serious wrongdoing.
Mm.
And like the number of times I've bought things off Amazon, it's been a bit shit compared to what I thought I was buying. I'm like, I'll live.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so I spent maybe £8 or something on like a pair of earphones. Like, do I really have much room to complain that they're not quite as good as I
they're
hope?
£8.
I went into Home Bargain, which for anybody outside the UK is like this discount place, and you can just go in and buy discount food and toiletries and shit like that. I was like, these headphones I've got, they're shit because I lost my other ones. I'll just buy these. They're $2.99. I put them in my ear, and it was like, you know, when you put a seashell up to your ear.
Oh God, yeah.
That was basically all you would get out of both of them on either side, and it was like, it's £3. I'll just bin them.
Yeah.
Like, I was only 20 yards from the shop. I could have taken them back in and got them refunded. And I was like, but it's £3. There's
not worth
no
it.
point. Like, in terms of games as well, I've never been irate enough about a game to go, I want my money back immediately. I've done it
Yeah,
with
neither.
games that I've found incredibly boring. Because I've been like, oh, this isn't the thing. And I just went, refund, cool, done. I'll have my money back in a couple of days.
Yeah. Like the only, I think one of the few times I've ever actually put in serious complaints with anyone. But
I just,
Good comment.
yeah, pretty much Poundland in his college days. Yeah, man.
Buy
yeah,
everything from Poundland, and then you're just like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's only
So
a pound.
there used to be
Yeah.
a Poundland basically up the street from where I was when I was in college halls. It was a fucking godsend because you were like, I've run out of stuff. Oh look, it's super cheap.
I interesting fact about Poundland because I had a friend at uni who lived on the Isle of Man, and because of the fees of importing things, they don't have Poundland. I can't remember what it is called. It's called something like savings because everything's a pound and 10 pence. Because it costs them to bring it across, so it can't be called Poundland. So they have like it's called like bargains or savings or something like that. But everything is that little bit more. And she was just like, it's really funny. She's like, it's exactly the same shop owned by the same people, but it's called something different because it's not pound.
a pound
They
and 10
can't,
pence.
they can't call
Yeah.
themselves Poundland anymore because you can go and buy stuff for £4.99.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're not just a pound anymore, which is disappointing.
It was never gonna
There's
happen.
stuff
They
like
couldn't
there's stuff
sustain
like pound stretcher.
There's no
though,
way
which
they
is
could
like-
maintain that in this economy. That's the problem.
Pound stretcher,
Yeah.
man. Pound stretchers are
Oh,
few and far between, man. There's
Woolies.
one in Aberdeen. Well, they're still trading online, as far as I know.
Oh yeah,
That's,
yeah. They're purely an online store. I remember in the news when they were actually being sold for £1, the whole company.
Because nobody wants.
What was it? BHS was sold for £1. Was it
No,
BHS?
it's Woolworths.
No, Woolworths.
Oh, something like
Yeah,
that.
VHS
it
went
was.
under.
Yeah, VHS went
only
bust.
2 or 3 years ago.
Oh
Wasn't
yeah,
that long
so
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, I used to love Woolworths.
The problem is, so where British Home Stores is in Aberdeen, it's like this. It's one of the biggest buildings on Union Street.
And it's
But the
fucking
rent-
desolate now.
The rent is so expensive for shops on Union Street, so no one will ever fill that building because it's too
Just
expensive.
sitting
it's like
there,
4 floors.
being desolate.
It's fucking huge, and no one will ever fill that store because they'll just never be able to afford to fill it. So they'll probably turn into like fucking offices or some shit.
Yay.
It's
Which is
unreal.
probably the smarter way to go.
Which-
to be honest.
Again, that's probably like, unless that company can strike a deal with the council on the rent, they're probably still not going to fill. Because private businesses looking for somewhere to host their business want to keep that cost as low as possible. Renting an office
Yeah.
is an incredibly expensive process, and you're often locked in for 3 or 5 or 10-year contracts. So legally, that company has to stay where they are for that length of time. It's a bit weird for this business.
There's a pizza
Eating on podcast, SMH.
Right, you want some garlic bread? I'll get some garlic bread as well.
I'll
I
have
tried
the garlic bread.
best thing today. It's called the Brissetti or something. I can't remember. You get them in Aldi, and they're vegan, but they're like little like garlic bread circles.
Things.
But they're cold, but they just taste amazing.
Garlic bread nuggets.
Yeah,
That's like
and
You
they're really
lost me
crispy.
at vegan.
The only reason that I know they're vegan, my friend
Vegan.
at work gets like vegan delivery boxes. You know, you can get like food boxes. She gets a vegan
Yeah.
one, and it was just something that came in them. But it just tastes like normal garlic bread, but like a dried version. So it's like a garlic bread crisp. So good.
That sounds interesting, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
don't-
good.
I'm kind of intrigued.
Because cold garlic bread is not enjoyable. Cold garlic bread is
No.
soggy and gross, but this is like
Yeah.
a dried version. So it's
I'm
just
just
like,
gonna
like a little
Have another
biscuit.
bite of my meat pizza.
Taking a stand against veganism.
I just don't understand it.
I do.
It's
I
a
don't
lifestyle,
understand-
and
I don't
it
understand
could
the
be health
process.
benefits. There's health
Yeah.
benefits and stuff.
I
like
don't
that.
understand the process of converting everybody in the world because I don't know what you're going to do with
Yeah,
the animals.
no.
because I think something that sometimes is forgotten
needs to be
is
a
that you
phased
still
approach.
need to milk cows because we've bred them to be milked, and you still need to shear sheep because they just get
Yeah.
full of maggots and they get way too much wool and they die. So I think we should have, if we ever decide to become vegan as a planet to help the environment or whatever, we need to have a massive barbecue.
Well, the thing is, like, when it comes to livestock farming,
Everyone was like, "Why don't we just let all the cows and stuff die out?" And I'm like, "Because someone's still got to feed them."
yeah,
So massive barbecue.
and that's cruelty, and that's part of what veganism is about, is avoiding
also-
animal cruelty.
But that's also
So,
mass extinction.
No, but of human encouraged, human produced
Matt,
like
Matt,
animals.
that is not extinction. That is genocide because you're ruining an entire species.
Yeah.
A species.
Doesn't make it any better.
and mankind's
But
guilty
they're
enough
human,
of genocide.
They're human-made.
And not only
human-made things.
a species, multiple species.
Multiple.
So what we've learned in this podcast is that Nellie's a psychopath
Yeah.
and will be the
We've
first
only just-
supervillain in existence.
Yeah, we'd have a
To
massive
wipe
barbecue
out.
because that's very super villainish.
Kill them all!
Daddy.
Set them on fire! Where's the flamethrowers?
Who's got corn on the cob?
I mean, one thing
Hey.
I've been doing is reducing meat in my diet, generally all round. But I'm not giving it up per se. But it's more because I'm looking at the environmental impact of the way we do farming right now, and it's like,
That's what my
yeah, this
coworker
planet's
did
going to
it for.
suffocate if we don't do something about this.
That's what my coworker
Um,
did it for. She's
yeah.
trying to reduce and like things like vegan makeup and stuff. She started using because she was like, well, what difference does it make
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of
And the thing
things?
is, it's mostly like beef farming that's the biggest contributor to climate change because of the amount of CO2 produced in raising, feeding, looking after them, and then there's all the fucking methane they fart out.
Matthew, have you something to tell us?
Maybe. Maybe not.
He's a psychopath.
Yes,
We'll get
Matthew.
to, we
Yes,
haven't
Matthew.
got to his topic yet.
Matthew.
His psychopathy.
Why are you a psychopath, Matthew? What have you done?
He's away.
I'm out.
Bye.
There are some things that must not be said to those.
What did you do at
to
ESL?
others. There wasn't even a Prem, dude. It wasn't even a Prem, but alas, it shall not be spoken of.
Well, I suppose
At
we
least
should
I'd
get
hope.
back on track.
You're making a lot of people
Perhaps.
crave pizza, by the way.
Good. They should crave pizza. Top that shit with as much meat as you can.
I don't rate
Everyone will
meat feast,
freak
if I'm
out.
honest. I don't rate meat feast.
Everyone will freak
No,
out.
I don't get a meat feast. So when I make my own pizza, I just get this one because Pizza Hut do like a £5 deal thing. You get like different pizzas for £5. If I make
Okay.
my own, and people won't
That's
like
fair.
what I'm about to say because it's a weird combination. But I like chicken, I like sweet corn, I like mushrooms, and I like tuna, and I like bacon.
I don't.
All on a pizza.
Tuna on a pizza, I still don't. Nah.
I don't have tomato sauce on pizzas.
Tuna on pizza actually works because when they bake it, it gets crispy. It's
Yeah,
nice.
my mum does tuna on pizza.
It's nice.
Skip the tuna and I'm sold.
Sometimes
honest,
I'll just do
skip the
chicken, sweet corn, and
mushrooms.
mushroom. Like that. Sometimes I'll just do that. But like if I'm going for it, if I've got money to burn for a pizza, just get the bacon and the tuna on there as well, and just fill it, double stack them all. I just want to see. I don't want to see cheese, and I don't want to see tomato. I just want to see all of the toppings. I know that the cheese and the tomato is underneath.
On only the toppings.
I just
Just make a tuna bacon bake thing.
Anyway, Bob, your list. Where are
I
we?
was gonna say.
Yeah, so we've already covered part of it with the Pokemon Go Team Rocket thing. One of the other things that I'll go over briefly, John and I started playing Wolfenstein Youngblood together.
Oh, and I know some people who started Wolfenstein recently.
Yeah, and I have to say, we're enjoying it. It's not a super great game, but it is actually still quite fun and quite enjoyable.
It would be shit if you were playing it solo. I think is how I'm feeling about it. Just
Yeah.
Because like when I was,
I'm probably going to do a solo run because I own it now.
we were
but-
playing it just before the podcast, and we kind of decided instead of sticking together, we'll just go off and do stuff. Because it's like
Yeah.
little hub levels, so you don't need to stick together. It's ideal if you do, because if one of you goes down, you have a live system. So if you run out your lives, you restart the entire map. And you have 3. If you sit next to each other and you revive before they bleed out, you don't lose a life. But it's like, we're doing okay, so we'll split off. But I was like, the time I was having fun is when me and him were together just shooting Nazis. The time I wasn't having fun is when I was on my own in a building picking up collectibles. Because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like collectible spam. Like you're wading knee deep through soup of collectibles, and you'll still miss half of it.
but
Yeah,
no,
the
it's
dark-
fun.
Like,
It's fun.
yeah, the mixed things about it. Yeah, I can see why you're getting that. I have slightly mixed feelings. Like when I first started firing a gun in that game, I find it's like, am I firing a Nerf gun or an actual gun in this game? It just felt kind of meh.
It is.
But then the rest of the gameplay is pretty
Yeah,
reasonable.
because
you
we
know,
were
it's pretty
talking about it
good.
as well. Is it is an experiment for them as well.
Yeah,
It's not a main entry. It's a spin-off. They wanted to try something different. They wanted to see how a more open-ended level layout would feel compared to
Traditional.
tradition. But even Wolfenstein 2 was kind of open, but these levels loop on each other, and they loop and they loop and they loop.
yeah.
Because it was done by the guys who did Dishonored.
Mhm.
And so far, I do like the level design, actually.
I mean, it's cool. It's cool. Each area we've gone to so far does feel different from the other one. Because the one we went to was sort of like a more posh side of Paris. There was lots of like nice cars and German cars and stuff sitting about.
Volkswagens.
Do you know what the fucking weirdest thing for me has been though? Is getting my head around the fact that when the Germans win, technology still advances at the same rate and the same way that it did.
Yeah.
But it's all German.
It would-
So you're running around these levels listening to German 80s pop. And it's like, what the fuck? Because you'll just hear like some sort of 80s techno pop beat, and then you'd be like, yeah, okay, not bad. 80s was good music. And then you'll hear like a German vocal track, and then you just go,
That's a bit surreal.
what the fuck?
This is one this isn't what I expected the future to be like at all.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I
mean,
cool because
imagine-
like VHS, they call it VKS, but VHS exists, cassette tapes existed, vinyl existed, TV, like all the stuff that would have happened normally happened anyway. It just happened in a much more German way. So it's cool to just kind of go through like, but it's also really strange because you're just like, huh?
Yeah, because you're expecting
Yeah.
it to be either in English or whatever you've experienced before in real
But I
life.
will say, the machine pistol is the king of that game, and I understand why they limited how much ammo you could carry. Because you can unlock, so it's level based, so you get skill points, and dual wield is a skill point, but you can only do it on one-handed weapons, which is Bob's not loving because he can't dual wield his shotguns.
Yeah, my triple barrel shotguns can't dual wield them for 6 barrels.
But you
well,
get these
it's
things, so there's
seven
weapon
boys.
upgrades as well, and there's 3 sets of weapon upgrades. One gives you more headshot damage, one gives you more ammo capacity, and one gives you more overall damage. Now, I tweak these things for overall damage, and the fire rate on them is insane. So you just watch health bars just go... Which isn't supposed to happen because this game is level based. It's an RPG. It's an RPG light game, but it's an RPG. So you're not supposed to be able to tear people apart that fast. I'm just running around dual wielding these things, just going. He's running around with heavy weapons, and I'm just like, I'm having fun. So you're gonna do a single player thing then, Bob? I think you're actually gonna have a look at a single player.
Get into that, yeah.
Bob,
Oh,
I asked you a question.
But Matt answered.
That doesn't mean you can sit there
You've
blankly.
offended him, Matt.
Oh, I'm not offended, but I was just like, oh. And yeah, I probably will attempt a single player run, just for the sake of it, for shits and
You
giggles
yelled at.
mostly.
Matt's being yelled at in chat.
Oh, is he? Whoops.
Also, Raven said that German Beatles was weird to listen to, which I'm now imagining because I haven't had the pleasure.
I'm actually just looking up some Beatles songs and lyrics, and I'm going to run it through Translate. Which is
I'm not sure
partly-
that's quite how it works, but
That's exactly what they did for Wolfenstein.
I mean, the new Yesterday movie came out recently, didn't it? So, and that was basically that's Beatles Reborn, essentially.
Oh yeah.
So
Another one.
When did that come out?
unfortunately, I do not
few days
think
ago.
that it will keep Bob occupied until Doom Eternal comes out.
No.
I mean,
He's got
That's why I
Paradise
bought-
Island. Oh no,
it's
Peace
not
Island.
priced. It's not priced at the sort of thing that.
Yeah, I
you'd
mean that's the
expect
other thing. You
from
can't complain about how not
Yeah, because it's
great it is
20
because
whatever.
it's well, like if you're buying it on PC, you can get it as low as 18 quid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which
so-
is
You
isn't
know-
much for games
Yeah.
nowadays.
I mean, we did one level or 2 levels the other night before we came off, and then came back on today, and we'd done 16% of the game. That's local to me because I'm obviously you don't share resources, so Bob picks up a collectible. I need to go get it as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit because it means that like
That's understandable though. To be fair,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But
understandable.
okay.
Obviously, it would be better that if wouldn't necessarily be. Yeah, it depends what kind of
See, the
viewpoint you have
difficult
on it.
My fault with it is though that they want you to take different approaches to your way you go through levels.
yeah.
But the only way to get
yeah, I
everything
see.
is if you stick together to go through everything together. You know.
Yeah,
It's also if you have someone trying to be entirely stealthy, the moment somebody goes in loud and starts shooting and gets attention, stealth is broken. Like you can no longer be stealthy because the
No.
enemies just go for you. And it's like,
I would like to
so if
point
you're
out.
single player, you could try the stealth all you want, but
I would like to point out that when I said that Bob would be trying to play it stealthy and I would be the one shooting all the loud guns, it's the other way around.
really.
I was
yeah,
like,
it's ended up the other way.
you start on this blimp, and I'm like, I'll just crawl through. Oh, we're shooting people already. Cool. Yep. Okay.
That's partly because I didn't know quite where the enemies were, because I'd never played the level, and I'm like, what's around this? Oh shit, guy! Boom! Oh, well, that's a cover blunt.
That was me on Sniper Elite 4. I was playing
Not launch a
I was
hatchet
playing
at him to
Sniper.
kill him quietly. Shotgun him.
Didn't have any.
Did you get jump scared and just went, oh god, shit. Oh, I left clicked. Oh no.
Oh, no, what have I done?
Because as soon as you do it, as soon as you fire a loud shot, you just hear.
Everyone
"Wah,
gets
wah."
Yeah.
Alright, cool. We're killing people now. Awesome.
Yeah, Sniper Elite 4, right? I was just like, guys, do I just go loud?
Just do it.
Is everyone gonna be dead by the end of this? And they were like, yeah. So I went around quick scoping people.
That's what I did when I played 3 with VoIP.
Yeah.
He'd sit in a hill try to be stealthy, and I'd just be like, bang.
Boom. I haven't played a co-op yet.
Wait for the plane to
I'm
fly
going
over, so your shot is hidden.
No.
Fire now that it's gone.
Boom. I do know. I do some bits like quietly, or at least to the extent where it was only localized chaos, right? I say localized. I mean
Localized.
like this
Localized
part of the map.
chaos.
This
Only
this
one
half
quarter
of
of
the map.
This
Yes.
quarter.
I'm sorry, the chaos was so localized. I just didn't know what was going on. Outside of this, I knew everything, but just in this little bubble here, it could have been anybody. It might have been me that fired the first shot. Might have been him.
Yeah,
Might have
yeah,
been him.
this-
All I know is
this-
I'm the one still standing in the localized chaos.
That was basically it. Like, once it goes to shit and people like the alarms start going off, I'm just like, ah, fuck it, dude, you're dead. You're dead. That tank, fucked. That guy, oh, his head's
That's how
gone.
stealth games are, though. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah, but
like,
some
for-
stealth games where it's loud, you're fucked once it goes loud. But in Sniper Elite, you can, as long as you kill them in time, you re. Whereas
Yeah.
in what Wildlands, Ghost Recon Wildlands, if you're playing in the tier mode and you're on max difficulty, once that goes loud, you are fucked. And so there's two
never
extents
played
to that.
on full.
There's two extents of that. So
Oh, they added difficulty since we played it.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because you used to have like the three or four difficulties.
obviously, yeah. So obviously you can go loud, and that's a viable option, but it's a lot more difficult than it is stealth.
Think of world
Whereas-
tiers like the torment difficulties in Diablo Bob.
Yeah.
Whereas in Sniper Elite, the only difference is that they know where you are.
Yeah, they
and
have
you-
they get
you
like an
might
alert
get
if
less-
you miss.
Yeah,
and they
you
have
might
to
get
run
less points
to
or
do
something
something.
like
But as long as you kill them before they get where they're running to, then you're fine.
the chaos of Wildlands, and we were just blowing up cars 3 miles away with anti-material rounds. Yeah, that sums it up. That sums up some of it. You have a guy close to the actual like target, and you're sat there on the other side of the map. So it's spawned in. The actual car is spawned in because a guy's close to it. One of your teammates is close to it, but you can't see it rendered. So you're just like we did this with a helicopter. So there were 2 of us on the ground, prone with anti-material rifles, and one of our mates was in a helicopter flying up, sitting next to the other helicopter that we were shooting at, and we couldn't see either of the helicopters. We were just shooting upwards and getting reports of the guy in the chopper saying, "Oh yeah, you need to go left a bit, you need to go right a bit." We were sat there for a solid 45 minutes just trying to shoot this thing down. It's just like, oh shit, yeah, be right. We need to reposition us there because our rounds aren't traveling far enough. And so we were doing that. That was very much entertaining. Oh yeah, that's one of the reasons why Wildlands is such a good game. So yeah. Even if you're on max rendering at max view distance, it might not render because they're so far away.
That map was fucking huge, though. And I did
very
like
big.
that about it.
Very big.
And it was varied as well. Like, certain parts of it were a bit more jungle, but
Got a
some
swamp.
parts were desert.
Got a salt plains.
Salt flat, yep.
Yeah, salt flats. You got mountains, snowy mountains, plains. It's very varied, and it's all in one area that you can explore. It's actually really cool.
Anyway, Bob, for the
That's-
second time, back to your list.
So I've got one
Little
last
tangent.
item on my list.
Yeah.
Little tangent. That was a huge tangent.
Big tangent.
Um,
We started
had a
talking
couple
about
of
that at 10 past 10.
yeah. This.
Whatever we were talking about.
I think it was
Youngblood.
initially Wolfenstein Youngblood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the best game in the world, but still quite good. Still enjoyable. You know. Still got that
Definitely
little.
play it with
sanity.
someone though.
Yeah. I think single player is yeah, it doesn't work too well as single player, but I'm going to try it out and see anyway. But on to the next thing. So last podcast I also spoke about this was my latest little project for Minecraft things, where I'm setting up free servers on a static S3 website that basically has a button on it that you click, launches the server, and then you play on it for a bit, and then it shuts itself down at the end when you're finished. I'm gonna have free worlds on this, so for anyone who didn't catch this last time, there's a creative world which is actually going to be an amalgamation of a whole bunch of other worlds. Remember that very first server, John, that I had the big castle I had with all the redstone stuff in it and
Yeah.
the gigantic Voyager bird of
Yeah.
prey type ship.
Yeah.
I've taken schematics out of that for almost everything that got built. I'm going to reproduce it in the latest server we had, where you built that tiny red brick house. So that's going to be
Your
one of the
difference
things.
is an achievement, quite noticeable.
I think you did it purely out of sarcasm for some reason.
For me?
Yeah,
Because that's how he lives his life.
but anyway.
Oh shit, no, yeah, because you built this giant, grandiose, ridiculous
Yeah.
fucking castle, and I was just like, little box.
Yep. It's
And-
literally got just enough room for the bed and to go in the door.
Not only did I do the little box, I did it in a completely garish and contrasting colour because his castle was all like grey and iron and stone and stuff like that. And I was like,
Yeah, colours would make
I'm
sense.
going to have this little box here that's just there to annoy him. Because it's red. And it's in somewhere stupid.
I did use World Edit to just move it to a slightly more convenient location.
I could just like, if you're
World Edit it back, yeah.
if you're scanning
It's
shit
your
in with
outhouse.
just you just go in there and shit in my bed.
Hmm.
Fill it with
Um,
cats.
I could do that. There are cats in Minecraft now.
Yeah.
Are
And
there?
they're really annoying.
They're a pain in the arse.
They sit on something, you can't do anything with it.
Yep, I have a survival world, which is basically going to be vanilla survival, but 14.3, version 1.14.3. I've created a spawn area that is kind of kitted out and built up a bit so that when you spawn, even if it's nighttime, you're not immediately going to get a creeper in the face.
Murdered over and over.
Yeah, because that's never fun when you join a server, especially one that will shut down. So it will remain nighttime when it shuts down until you reboot. It's a bit it's going to be a bit meh. So
funny on
when
Richards.
that's fully
Fortunately,
when it's
killed.
fully live, yeah, I'm still playing on the Misadventure server, the Richard server. It's still
Yeah.
using
I
that
think
for
it was.
my YouTube stuff.
I can't remember if it was Blue or if it was someone else, but someone spawned in at night and everyone had already got little houses, and all we kept getting was shot by a skeleton, killed by a zombie, shot by a skeleton. Oh, was it you?
And
I thought it was Blue. And Blue.
'Cause we
Yeah,
joined
that was a
it
very
all at the same
entertaining
time.
night.
And none of you came to help us.
I was hiding in a hole, and then me and Blue were both hiding in holes and just messaging each other all night. Like, I'm in a
Same.
hole. Like, yeah, I'm also in a hole. And then
There
everybody else was
was-
doing stuff, but me and Blue were so bored because we were just in our little holes.
What I felt
Sorry.
bad for was when Ninja went to Venus, didn't have the right kit, and he just kept dying, and it would respawn him on Venus,
Yeah.
where there was nothing he could do. Like, it would just
Yeah.
respawn and instantly die because of the environment. It's like,
Mm.
that's terrible. That would end you for that game if you didn't have an admin who could come in and just
Yeah.
weak you out of there. It was like,
But he
damn.
got
And
stuck on the moon as well, didn't he?
yeah,
At one
I
point,
think
and
his
Richard had to save
teleport.
him.
Yeah, I think his teleport deactivated.
Yeah.
He died, and then it respawned him somewhere random without his gear, and he's like, "Shit."
He's like, Richard!
Um,
Yeah, Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, and the thing is, I ended up making a very similar mistake with going to Venus in my first episodes. I was like, I've got killed, and I'm like, oh shit. And I was,
Oh shit.
yeah, I eventually managed to last just long enough to get the GC Houston command to work to send me back home. But it was like, at that point, I had lost everything.
Yeah.
Like, my power armor, all the good shit I had, it was gone. I was like, fuck.
My favorite one of those moments that happened to you was you going back to put your oxygen bubble into the area you built, and then you went, "Yeah, I should be able to breathe now." Take helmet off, dead.
Dead.
Yeah, instantly, the pressure attached, boom, gone. I was like, oh,
Fuck.
I can breathe, but I still get crushed by the pressure. Lovely. And there doesn't seem to be a way within the Galacticraft mod to like change the environment any further than add oxygen, which is really annoying. It's like, I'd love to be able to set up a proper base, but it means I have to always have my spacesuit on, and it's like, well, okay. But then again, it's still it's still being developed and improved and whatnot, so it's probably just a feature that'll come later.
Yeah.
Can't
they'll
you
work it
build
out.
like a structure and then put the oxygen thing inside of it and it
Oh, that's how I did it.
depressure? Oh right, yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, that's how I did it. I
There's
even
no
had
way
airlock
to
doors.
set pressurization.
Oh,
Yeah.
So like you can build the building, but there's still that air of
it'll
the
still be
Venus in it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I'm assuming.
It's just
Yeah.
breathable
Still
air.
Venus-ness.
It's just except that when you breathe it, you just go.
Yeah. It's breathable if you could breathe at 92 times Earth atmosphere pressure.
Yeehaw!
At which
back
point the
in
air is
2
pretty much
seconds.
liquid.
Instant
worries.
McCrush.
Yep. Yeah, and lastly, this server might take a bit longer for me to get set up.
Can we all
but I'm-
leave for Nelly coming back and just pretend we're not here? Like just hide under desks and stuff.
Sure.
We'll keep talking.
Yeah, okay, I will do.
Oh,
Just-
right.
just-
I can't because my mic's on my mic's here. So
Just hide. Just hide.
oh god.
My mic is also.
Yeah, so as I was saying, like, I'm going to make an adventure map that's going to basically be like a big hub world, but then tons of escape the room type puzzles, which I'm hoping will be quite fun. I'm going to have like a few quite deadly puzzles as well, so things like a minesweeper level that you have to do in first person.
That sounds cool.
And yeah, I figured out a mechanism to make the make it so that when you step on a pad, it drops that bit of floor and relevant surrounding pieces, so it plays kind of like Minesweeper should play.
Don't you just have gravel?
No,
push plate?
so basically it's pressure plate on top of something like stone,
Yeah.
and underneath it is a sticky piston facing upward, but there's a gap
Oh.
where there's a redstone dot, and what happens is when you press that, it activates the piston for a single tick, and
Oh,
because
it
it's a
brings
one
it
tick,
down.
yeah, it snatches the block down, but it also breaks the pressure plate,
Push
so
plate,
that
yeah.
one thing does. And if you have it laid out in just the right way with the circuit underneath, you can make it like trigger a whole bunch of the pistons to fire away from you, so it'll drop an area that's relevant.
I'm interested
always
in the
thought about
escape
that.
room stuff actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
in Minecraft as well.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing adventure mode, so I can use command blocks and I can control what people can break. Because otherwise, an escape the room in Minecraft
yeah.
won't work, because people are just like, ah, fuck, I'll just mine through the wall. There we go, done.
this wall.
TNT, TNT, woo! So yeah, the escape, the adventure world will be very kind of strictly controlled.
And then there's barrier blocks that can be implemented as well.
Where's everyone gone? Okay.
We did a
Jesus
funny.
Christ.
You did a very good. I like how Matt's turned his camera.
I just went. Can we just go hide while Nellie's away? Just see how she reacts when she comes back, and it was amazing. Your face is just like.
We're like.
They're still talking though. Wait.
I could hear you walking through the headset before I had it on, so I was like, I know they're still there. I was like, why? Oh dear.
We did it very funny.
It was very nice.
Oh shit, that's gonna happen more now. I can never leave my chair. Just come back to you guys doing something stupid like that. We should probably give Matt the last 15 minutes, since we're about to end soon. So what you got, Matt?
Switch Lite has
Mhm.
been opened for pre-order for like what, 200 quid, something like that. Which is-
Yes.
It's still like, I mean, you can get a normal Switch for what, 70 quid, 80 quid more.
No.
No,
Well, yeah, I guess you can. Yeah, it depends on what you
Like-
do.
I remember I was browsing. I remember seeing the pre-order things. Recently reviewed here. So Nintendo Switch Lite Grey for pre-order for 19.99 or 199.99. And then I went onto the Nintendo, clicked the good old Switch button, and they're on sale for what, 284, the stock one.
The idea was to make them slightly more affordable, but there's an interesting thing that's come up because of that. So you know the whole thing about the Joy-Con drift that's happening right now. Nintendo offering repairs if you're suffering from it for free,
Yeah.
or refunds for people that have had to go through it. Now I'm going to get mine sent away. I just haven't, like, next week I'm going to put it in and get them sent away because I've got an extra controller. They're going to not charge me for it. I'm going to at least try and get them fixed. But the problem is, they said they fixed it when they re-released the second builds of them. Now,
But
they didn't, because people who have bought Switches like last week are suffering from the Joy-Con drift. Is it still going to exist in the lights where you can't detach the controllers and you would have to send the entire system away?
I would hope though that it's no longer, because I think it was partly the Bluetooth communication issue with the antenna or the sort of receiver was not up to scratch for it, and that's why you got these weird signals. If it's in the light, I would imagine they hardwire it rather than Bluetoothing inside of a device.
You'd think so.
But it is also to do with communication from that part of the controller not reaching the Switch. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen
Just
when
enough
I
to
have
be
my
annoying.
Joy-Cons attached to the Switch.
Yeah.
Where it
same.
shouldn't be doing that because it's attached. They are part of the console. They work
Is there
with,
any
they work with-
contacts?
They work with NFC when they're attached to the Switch, I think.
Right, so it's still
literally,
potentially, yeah.
it's just attached, and it just, as long as there's physical contact there, it shouldn't be a problem. But they're running the risk of, with the lights, is that still going to be a problem? Are people still going to get the drift? Because then you're going to have a lot of pissed off people being like, I've got to send my Switch away for fuck knows how long for you guys to fix it. So, anyway, Matt, what were you saying about the
Yeah.
you
That came out,
thinking about it?
and I'm considering it. Not gonna lie, maybe.
It's a better price point, and I think for you, it would probably be better having I got a solely portable version than having the dock and being able to
Because
put it on.
I'm not particularly interested, like, unless I'm going to a mate's house or something like that.
If you're
Because-
doing more cons and you're doing cosplay and stuff, it would be good because then you've got something to just fuck around on when you're traveling. Because they are really good for that.
Yeah.
Sitting on a
They're
train
nice
for
and
2
small.
hours,
Yeah.
you can just.
Yeah, and you're just jamming away with the battery life lasting
Jamming away.
a decent amount.
As long as you got a battery pack on you as well. Like,
Mm.
because I said to Chizzy, because they're releasing new Switches with a slightly, and I mean slightly longer battery life. You're getting like, it's 3 to 6 hours now, and then it's going to
suppose.
4 to 8 or 4 to 9 hours.
So. Yeah.
And I was like, I just said to Chizzy, we were going out on the Sunday, and I was like, or you could just buy a really good battery pack for 20 quid instead of buying a new Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got a 20,000 milliamp battery pack. That's fucking great. Like,
Depends what you can carry on you on your persons.
I mean, if
yeah, it's not that big.
And if you're just
It's
buying
about
one
almost the
already.
same size as my phone.
But it is like, if you think of it in another way, it's one extra item to lose if it happens. So obviously, it's
even
more
so,
cost
though,
efficient.
it's lowest end, you're only gaining an hour. So I just don't see the point in going out and spending another 280
It's
quid.
not. It's not that. I don't think that's aimed at like existing owners.
Yeah, that's what
No,
I
it's
was-
not.
Yeah.
It's not. But
Yeah.
they will still be selling the stock with the shorter
Oh, yeah,
battery
of
life
course.
as well. They're not removing the stock.
Oh,
It'll just
are
be
they?
mixed in.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not removing the
Oh.
old ones. because they've still got stock of that left, so they're
Oh
going to
yeah,
sell
they
it.
sh- yeah.
But they're also
yeah.
now releasing the new Switches.
Yeah, but I'd assume they won't they won't be necessarily making the older version.
No, they'll stop production on the older one, but
Oh yeah, then that's just how it is then.
there's people out there that could go buy it and not know that there's 2 different SKUs for the Switch now, and buy one with the shorter battery life.
I get that you can technically class that under what we were talking about earlier with the whole you've been sold.
False
different.
advertising.
Yeah.
There is
See,
things
this is
online
a
if you
faulty
look at.
product, though.
Mm.
Eventually, you've got a slightly faulty product, and that's when legally that the manufacturers have an obligation
Yeah.
to try and fix the fault in some way.
Anyway, what else have you got, Matthew?
So I've been at a coding sort of course thing where
Nice.
I've been learning about HTML, CSS. I think next week we're getting into JavaScript, which is going to be a bit wild. So I made a certain thing, which is a bit political, but I don't know if I'm going to show it or not. But basically, I edited one of our tasks was basically go onto a site of news of some sort, like Glad Bible or BBC or the Daily Mail or whatever the hell.
Bible considered news now?
Some sort of article that people get information of some sort from, or entertainment. It could be reporting on whatever the hell, right? So like you could go on IGN if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. But the idea was to go on the
IGN
website.
still considered news?
Fuck knows, dude. As long as it's some sort of article, right? It's some sort of article. You go on the website and then you essentially just edit it using inspect element.
Yeah.
And I did the whole political thing because they didn't have any restrictions on it, and I just jumped on shitting on Boris. So I'm not sure.
I mean, you're
if
talking to
y'all-
2 people from Scotland. When he turned up in Edinburgh, he was booed out of the city. So
I'm not sure if y'all want to show this, but that's essentially what I did. I basically went haywire.
Oh,
know.
ho, ho.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this and just take it off the screen while I look at it.
It's pretty spicy. It's
It
pretty.
just went on
spicy.
the screen.
Yeah, but you can see it.
It was a
Yeah.
flash. Someone could
Yeah.
rewind and pause.
Yeah.
That's a pretty neat desktop,
It's
actually.
pretty.
I like it.
Yeah, no, I like the desktop actually, especially how it's segmented like that. Like it,
It
fits
works
in,
well with our
fits
names.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, you've not really done all that much. It's fine. There you go.
Eh,
You just said what everybody's thinking. So
essentially. So yeah, I basically did that, and that was good fun. And then yeah, we're going into JavaScript next week, which is going to be wild. Yeah, the whole idea of it, or at least my idea of going into that course is just learning new stuff. Because
if you ever want to learn more,
Web
Bob's
design.
your man.
web design is
Same with
it's a lucrative thing.
Richard as well.
Mhm.
Bob and Richard. Speak to them.
I mean, there's a reason why I impulsively bought this graphics tablet, right? It's like graphic design and stuff like that.
Now, Matt, I didn't
Hmm.
happen to catch your thousands of tweets.
Hmm.
Were you somewhere the last couple of days?
I was in an event in Leicester.
Because I didn't see and
Nah.
get
Nah, I'm not sure if I
spammed
conveyed.
by Twitter notifications from you.
Why have you got me on?
It just sends me on. It's just like, this person has tweeted this, except you tweeted like 5,000 times in like 10 seconds.
Oh,
So I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. I know
Oh,
you're
no, that was
excited,
just-
but
that was
fucking
just
hell.
something else. That was just something else. To be fair, that was on a different thread that I did. Why have you got me set on notifications?
I
like when
don't.
would-
I don't have you set notifications.
Well, you
It
must
sends me
do
them.
if I
It
tweet
sends me
so
them from
much
him.
bollocks.
It sends them from someone else, and I'm just like, eh. But it's like
That must
all
be the
your
case.
yes.
I
you
tweet so much bollocks.
You do.
Anyway,
Whoever's the most is
yeah. So I went to
you.
Leicester this weekend. It's ESL Prem, so that's Siege and CS UK national finals basically. And that was pretty nuts, not gonna lie. But it's the more interesting thing that you guys would probably want to hear is the journey there. So coincidentally, that weekend, well, not only was it Manchester Comic Con and London Film and Comic Con, but yeah, there was two events clashing as well, so the turnout was, I guess, could have been better. But not only that, but was the train station at Leicester was shitting itself because there was a police-related accident, so that fucked up some trains and schedules. So there were some lines that were completely, but some lines that were delayed by about an hour and a bit, and some lines that just there were no updates, and they were just like people were expecting it, and it was just like, oh yeah, it turns out there's no train coming, and I was like, oh, sick. So my journey there, quite interestingly, involved me getting to what's the fucking name? Sheffield, and then going down like 3 stops, and turns out there wasn't anyone driving the train. There was no driver. So the train had gone 3 stops without a driver.
Gotta love that automation.
So that's
Did it
pretty good.
stop though?
Yeah, it
Remote
stopped at
control
Derby.
or automations.
It stopped at Derby, and they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this train isn't going any further because turns out there's no driver." And I was
No one
like,
got on it.
"Great!" I was like, "How did this thing even go in the first place?" That guy suddenly phased
not,
out
like-
of the train.
Was there not even like a conductor or anything? Nobody walking around selling tickets. Just
Oh yeah, obviously, yeah, but they're not the driver of the train. They're not
Well,
the train.
They've got no
see, this is
control.
the thing though. So in Scotland, in ScotRail, they're one and the same thing. So the
Oh,
conductor
okay,
will
that's
drive the
different.
train as well.
That's fair, but that's evidently not the case right now because there were people checking tickets, and I saw people checking tickets, but
Because on the ScotRail trains, they can control the train from the doors. There's like little things they can lift.
Yeah.
and-
oh yeah, no, that's
But
like controlling opening and closing doors and stuff
But
like
they
that.
can
Isn't the
sort
same.
they can get the train to slow down towards stations and stuff like that. Those little controls.
Oh.
But they talk to the drivers, so I'm curious if that's maybe how they figured it out. Because the conductor went back to his little box and went, "So,
Oh.
hello." Oh my god, guys! There's no
Guys?
Or
one
maybe
driving the train.
maybe the driver just went to the toilet at the wrong time,
Yeah, he was.
and
actually
then when
there
he heard the
whole time.
commotion, he's like, "I'm just gonna hide."
Yeah,
He's just like, oh
I'm
shit.
sick today. Just calls up like, I didn't get out of bed.
Oh.
I remember, like, I was down south a little while ago, and I got on train at Liverpool Victoria Street. You know that one we were at, John, before we went back to Stansted.
Yes.
I got on that train because we were going out to our hotel, and we were on the train for a good half an hour when the driver comes on the tannoy, and the first thing we hear is, "Will you tell him or will I?"
Oh, that's never good.
And then he was
never
like,
good.
"Yeah, so this train has been cancelled.
Like,
We're on it. We're on it. We're halfway to our destination." Like,
I hate that.
and it's apparently because they cancelled the train, but they didn't tell him, so he
So
just
he just
thought
carried on.
Yeah, so he just like, okay, there's my train. I'll drive that to my destination. And so we all got booted off that train. He then went all the way down to Cambridge, and yeah, we had to wait on the next train, which took us to our actual destination. But I was like, what the fuck? It's like he's done half the journey now.
I've only
Keep
done
going.
I've only had 2 bad, like, weird experiences on a train. One was I was going down. My brother lived in Catterick when he was in the army, and he was like just starting out. So I would get the train down to see him every once in a while, and it was cheaper to go first class, which doesn't happen now. But at the time, it was cheaper to go first class. So you got like free tea and coffee and stuff. I had my laptop, I had my headphones, and I was just sitting playing a game on my laptop. And then I get this woman taps me on the shoulder. And she goes, "Could you?" And it's like very posh voice. "Could you please turn that down?" I'm like, "The quiet coach is there." So it's like, I paid for my seat. Like, this isn't making much. And it wasn't, right? I took the headphones out and I just let it go, and it wasn't making. But she was just like one of these people that just is like,
Likes to nitpick.
Complain.
I'm more important than you. I'm like, no, you're not, because I probably paid more for my train tickets than you did, and I probably paid for mine.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? And I was just like, quiet coaches up there, love. You want peace and quiet? Off you pop. You're on a train. Like, you're in a public space. And then the other one was, I think I was coming back up from. I'll read that in a second because Matt's
Yeah.
got himself
I just
giggly
read
about
it
it.
and I'm like, oof.
I
Um,
read it too.
We got stuck just leaving Edinburgh. I think it was coming back up here. We got stuck just leaving Edinburgh, and it was one of the trains. I was like the pull down windows and the doors, and we were there for 45 minutes. And there's me and another guy that were just standing at the door because there was no seats, and we were like trying to get some fresh air and stuff. So we pulled the window down, and the conductor's walking up and down the outside of the train. And we're like, can we just jump off for a smoke? No, you're not allowed to leave the train. But we're not going anywhere for 45 minutes. You won't let us smoke out the window. You won't let us walk 2 feet off the train to have a smoke. 45 minutes we just stood there just going like, I really wish I could just get off this train and smoke. That's the worst experience I have had travelling. Well, actually, travelling down to MCM Glasgow with Callum in the car, he got his windshield cracked. That was probably pretty
That's a bit
shitty.
hairy.
So... what's this? My best experience with trains was to London for MCM. It should have been an hour and a half, turned to 3 hours because one of the engines shut down. Jesus.
Ouch. Yeah, that's why I was like, oof.
I've been in a plane. As I was telling Bob about this when we were flying down to London, because Bob's not great with flying, and I was like, I love a fucking bumpy flight. So you land in Greece. I think it's Athens Airport or something like that. You land in it, and at the time I was like maybe 14, so it was a long time ago. But the runway was full of potholes. So you'd hit the runway and you'd just go
Oh no!
all the way along it until the plane
That's
stopped.
horrifying.
And I'm just like, yes!
See,
Why
I
did
used
you
to
tell
be.
Bob
I
that
used
if he's good
to.
at flying?
It's not that I'm not good at flying. It's like I used to be
ears and
quite.
stuff are not.
I used to be quite anxious with like takeoff and landing. I'm over that now. But yeah, it's ears coming down the way. It's the pressure build up. I struggle to pop my ears. They don't do it themselves. Going up, I'm fine. It's
No,
coming
you
down.
should go. You should go scuba diving down
Oh,
underwater. I
No,
wonder how your
can't.
ears would cope then.
My whole family scuba dives, but my eldest brother can't because he can't
no.
equalize his ears.
yeah. I remember when I was flying to Boston once, and like most of the flight was okay. There was like a bit of turbulence, a wee bit of a shuddering, nothing major. And it was when we got, because the way we flew, we like basically went towards Canada and then went down its coast and then landed in Boston. If that's bright.
Very bright.
Oh, there we
Sorry,
go.
it's just news.
Oh.
Nice.
Borderlands
I'm
3
hyped for that game.
has gone gold.
I am hyped for that, but I'm still buying it on Steam and not Epic.
I'm gonna just.
That.
Do you know what I'm gonna do? Just to skip all the bullshit, so that like, it's like I will buy it on PC as well. I'm just gonna buy it on PlayStation.
No, that's fair. That's an easy
Yeah.
counter. That's an easy counter.
Because
Like,
it's more
yeah.
like I would have to then be like, Bob, go buy it on Epic. Whereas we can go and buy it on PlayStation. There's zero complaints from either of us or something. I don't know, you're not big, like, you don't really give a shit one way or the other about Epic, but it's still like, yeah. But then it limits the amount of people you can play it with if I play it on Epic, I have to buy it on Epic. So when it comes out on Steam, I will buy it. But
I'm just waiting. I can wait. Is the point? So
I can't. Because I've been waiting too long already. Although I really I have been watching more stuff about it, so that I'm not as kind of, because you remember after E3 I was not enthralled by what I saw, but yeah, now I've kind of been watching some other stuff, just to do like character and shows and that. I need to go watch the Claptrap Tours the Planets that they're doing on YouTube. So, but yeah, I'm more and more excited now for it. That I've kind of gotten over that E3 of shit. CG trailers. Look at the game that's not a game yet. Because we haven't done it. Right. If anybody has anything else to say, now is your time.
yeah, Flack the Beastmaster is voiced by good old Prodzide. Feels good, man.
Who? What? Huh?
That.
Who?
Someone.
Oh, the one of the new Vault Hunters.
Yeah, who's he voiced by? I'm
Him.
old.
You don't know him? Okay, that's fair enough. I know him is the point, and I followed him for a while, so there's no explanation.
Cool.
But
Right. Well,
point is, when I saw that announcement, I was hyped. I was like, "Ah, shit! This is just another reason why I'm getting the game because he's a sick guy."
I think my choice for the Vault Hunters changed. I was going to play as the robot dude, but I might play as the siren because it's an
Ooh.
offensive siren. She doesn't help people. Her abilities are to hurt. Whereas Lilith was stealth. She could phase out and run away. Maya was about phase lock, so she could crowd control. She could hold someone and you could heal off of it. This chick, one of her powers is she just takes 6 phase arms and just shockwaves the ground and just sends everything flying. Much better. It's a badass. It's like that's what the sirens should have been. There's only like 7 of them in the universe, and they should be stupidly powerful. And they should have ridiculous moves. Not I can put you in a bubble so that when you die, people get health.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna play, to be honest. I'm usually the gunner or that kind of role, so Mo's in this case.
I think I'll play as the siren for my own run, and then when I play with other people, I will play as the Beastmaster. Flak.
But yeah, Flak looks really cool.
I was
and
just checking out
interesting.
that guy's Twitter. He has a really nice cat.
He does.
So,
Yet another reason you should support him.
Just so his cat gets fed.
Yeah.
Don't care about him. Just his cat.
from me before we close, this week on the YouTube channel, there will be more Judgment. There will be Crash Team Racing. And there will be Stick Fight the game. Because we recorded half an hour of that, and it's got an awful thumbnail for it, and I fucking love it. We're getting new mics and stuff like that as well, so our audio's going to get fixed. Yay!
Yeah.
That's me. Go follow me on Twitter, the thing's there. Bob's is wrong. Nelly, anything from you?
Bye.
Good chat, as always.
I never have an outro.
Max,
That's fair. If you want to hit me up with some, if you want to have a look at some shit posts on Twitter, then feel free to follow me there. If not, I have really terrible content on Twitch that you should come and follow.
he
Because
said the
it's
bad word
entertaining.
on YouTube, he said Twitch.
Oh, guys, the demonetization's gonna come. Oh shit.
Next he'll be putting his link in the chat.
Oh no. Spam. No. Anyway, yeah, that's about it from me. Just at Ninja on basically everywhere.
Bob.
See you.
Yep. So, I will be. In fact, my latest video went up on Sunday, I think, or it should have. So, yeah, check that out whilst you look at things like Judgment and whatnot. If you like Minecraft and shenanigans, then definitely there. I'm going to start doing a bit more different stuff as I do more with my servers and not just Misadventure. I also have a Twitter where I randomly post weird and wonderful stuff.
I'm gonna unfollow you on Twitter if you keep doing puns.
I'm gonna follow you on Twitter if you keep doing puns.
So,
You lose one, you gain one.
yeah. And to be honest, like I've
All things should
been,
be.
it's when I do puns I get the most likes and retweets. So I'll just follow that trend.
Yeah.
What was the one you did the other day when I was just like, fuck you?
I did one where I was like, my local barber isn't cutting hair any longer. He's cutting it shorter.
I've named my house Success so that I can say I have the keys to success.
That was it. I was proud of that one.
Bus, me, throws Pokeball at driver. The hell is wrong with you? Bus, drives off with me, without me.
Hashtag catching the bus.
It's quite a complicated pun, that one.
It's
You know when you've just been in something for too long, and you're just like, this is just my life now.
This is do you know what? You're gonna accept this fate.
I was his
Come
best
to
man at
this.
his wedding. It kind of be a bit of a dick move now to just be like, bye, Bob.
Never mind. Yeah. Not anymore.
And then I'll turn up on the next podcast, but I'm like, hey. So
So we're not friends anymore.
I've uploaded my next video on the channel. We're still good. All right, guys, that's going to be it from us this time. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll be trying out the thing we were going to try on Twitch next week, which is for someone else to host it for once. We only changed it around this week because we were starting on YouTube for the first time, and it actually worked out pretty well. We'll see you in 2 weeks right here at the same time. Bye.
bye.